Greetings, YouTube. Before I go any further, I'd like to say that it was kind of refreshing to see a story that dealt with bigotry that didn't have to deal with America. That's a change of pace for us. I want to link to a story today from Calgary. In it, a woman went to the city's only infertility clinic to become artificially inseminated. Now, artificial insemination is a process that is not just a one-time trip. It can require treatments over days or even months before a woman becomes pregnant. So you need to be in the vicinity of the clinic for this process to be completed and result in a successful pregnancy. So it's kind of important that you go to a clinic that is in your area. And in Calgary, there is only one. But the woman in question, going by the name of Catherine, encountered a problem. She discovered that the clinic, run by one Calvin Green, won't allow her to choose any sperm donation that isn't from a fellow Caucasian. That the doctor's explicit policy is no rainbow children. Yes, you heard that right. In the 21st century, there's a doctor who apparently is opposed to the concept of human beings mixing their races. Just let that sink in for a minute. Alright, now, the doctor in question, and I'm using the phrase doctor very loosely, seems to be conflating the concepts of ethnicity, cultural, and genetics. He seems to think that the genetics of a person dictate their ethnicity and culture. So, all I can assume that is in the mind of this doctor, who apparently passed some kind of medical exam, if you are born one particular color, you are coming out of the chute with an entire culture attached to you. So that if you are a brown American, or a black American, or a yellow American, or a red American, or a white American, you're not an American? Do you have to be a particular color to be an American? Do you have to be a particular color to be a Canadian? Do Canadians only come in one color? I would ask you, why would you not choose somebody of your own cultural background? Maybe because the person in question doesn't give a crap and isn't a bigot. Alright, I know people of mixed genetic backgrounds as far as cultures and ethnicities go. I know people who consider them who are of divergent differences, with a parent that is black and a parent that is white. Guess what? They're still a citizen of their country. They're still a human being. Now, I frequently use the term race here on my channel, and I use it because racists use it. It is unfortunate that I have to use the framing that the racists use when discussing these things, because at the moment, they seem to hold the field of battle in that particular regard. But the reality, and this doctor seems to be unaware of that fact, there is only one human race, Homo sapien sapien. There's only one of us, folks. There are some minor differences over the course of the world, but we're all the same species. Now, if you look at someone from the Congo, and you look at someone from Sweden, people are like, look at the differences there! They're completely different races! And side by side, taken in that context, you might think, well, there's a lot of difference there. But now, if you go to Sweden, and you now walk to the Congo, you're going to notice that things aren't as clear-cut. That humans vary in outward appearance and melanin levels as you go further south. It's almost as though there's a reason for that. Could it be environmental? I'm not positive. Maybe it is. Maybe it has nothing to do with culture, however, or ethnicity. Maybe it just has to do with the fact that a bunch of people living in a place where there's little sun and a bunch of people living in a place where there's a lot of sun have different melanin levels. But you know something? Those people from Congo and Sweden, they can have children! And they'll be human! And if both of them happen to be Canadians, their child will be Canadian. This guy's a nutbag. And this is the only clinic in Calgary. So if this woman wants to go to another clinic that requires possibly daily or regular visits over the course of months, she's going to have to pick up and move to another place. That seems somewhat burdensome to me. Why is this policy being allowed to exist? Now, the doctor's argument is that we're trying to avoid having people have designer babies. They're all human. How are they designer? We are not at the point in our technological sophistication to design babies. We cannot pick traits from one allele to another. Maybe we will be able to do that someday. I'm not sure. But right now we can't. And every single egg and every single donor and every single person that walks in there is a human being. And all that should matter is that this woman wants to have a child. And she wants to go the route of in vitro fertilization. Now, I guess Canada has a policy that says that a doctor can refuse a non-emergency treatment on moral grounds. Well, I would argue that someone who's telling me or anyone else that different people should not interbreed unless they officially sanction it, utterly and absolutely lacks any morals.